order. He won at Wolverhampton 2 days ago and now reappears quickly off the same mark as he doesn't get penalised, as that was an apprentice race. The switch back to blinkers, which he's got on tonight, have helped. He's really likeable and consistent at this level, and Archie Watson's horses have been in great order to start this new year. We just spoke to Stefano Churchi off the back of his winnable Privilege in the last race, and he'll be aboard Lebsair here for Jane Chapelheim. He's 0 from 6, but 2 runner-up efforts when he was with Sir Michael Stout. I thought he might have just started life in handicaps with a harsh enough mark. He's still just sort of finding his level, but the last run was disappointing, and he's got the cheek pieces on for the first time just to eke out some improvement here. Next one we're going to look at is 2. This is Crack Regiment. Henry Spiller and Adam Farraher team up. This is a 3-time winner, including over this trip back in his native France. He hasn't tried this distance of a mile since joining Henry Spiller. He's regressive recently, and he's looking for a revival and a career low mark here of 74. And we will follow in behind. We can see Mick Appleby's horses come in. The next one we're going to look at, just seeing beneath that paddock sheet, quite difficult to make out, so maybe I'll go 2 behind and look at number 12. That is Seattle King for Phil McEntee and Molly Presland, and this horse is won on debut for Rafe Beckett as a 2-year-old, but just hasn't built on the promise of his 2-year-old days. Now he's down to a more realistic mark, but needs to prove himself still off this trip. He's really well bred, but he's just never lived up properly to the promise that he showed as a younger horse. And 2 back, I'm going to take the next one, as I'm going to look at is Buxted 2 for Ian Williams and Luke Morris. This is horse 6, and a winner 2 starts ago, and he came wide around the bend and saw out the 10 furlongs here really nicely. He went up £4 and had no excuses for the poor run last time, and he's back now after 35 days off the track. But Buxted 2 has been a good horse in his prime, and he looks well in himself. Next one is Boasty for Ivan Furtado and Joey Haynes, and this horse is a 2-time all-weather winner here and in Ireland. His last win came at this track and over this trip in March. He bolted up that day to prove he was really well treated off 55. He's had a break, and he's now down to a mark of 62. You can see he's really well and on his toes there. Next one we will see is Big Nasty for Mick Appleby and Freddie Larson, and this horse had the 1 win with Richard Spencer. He was frustrating last year, and he's now £20 lower than his opening handicap mark of 92, hoping that Mick Appleby can eke out improvement trying this 1 mile 2 furlong trip. And we'll just again try and work out the next one. It's got a big, very stylish purple rug on, and just trying to work out which one that one is. We're trying to really like to have a look at Stormcatcher number 1 for Simon Pearce and Jack Mitchell, as that's the one that I think has got a cracking chance here, but just not entirely sure whether which one's a which there, and we might just need to have to pick out most of them when they come back, when they head their way down to the start. But I definitely think that Stormcatcher will be worth mentioning for Jack Mitchell and Simon Pearce. So maybe we've seen the majority of these. We'll head back to the studio and then we'll pick them up when they go down to post.
Yeah, good idea. Quite a busy paddock there, isn't it? The Betsy handicap for this Class 5 handicap, and here's how they bet. Mafia Power 15-8 on the drift from 13-8. Stormcatcher is 130. Bit Harsh at 6-1. Big Nasty is a 12-1 chance, as is Richard or HB, and the Bay Warrior priced the same.